you ever feel trapped by the same habits and doubts, no matter how hard you try to change? What if you could kill your current self? Not literally, but by shedding the identity that's weighing you down. In this video, you'll discover the Bhagavad Gita Method, an ancient yet powerful approach that reveals 4 key steps to rewriting who you are. Stick by, and by the end of this video, you will learn how to unlock your true potential. The Bhagavad Gita is set on an ancient battlefield with 2 armies ready to clash. Our main character, Arjuna, is a skilled warrior, but the moment before the fight, he's overwhelmed by doubt and moral confusion. He questions whether he can face what lies ahead, torn between his duty and his conscience. This crisis isn't just about swords and shields, though. It's about the inner struggle we all feel when we're at a major crossroads in life, unsure if we're capable of taking that next big step. What makes the Gita so universal is that it zeroes in on the mental and emotional aspects of Arjuna's dilemma. Krishna, who serves as his guide, explains that the real battle is within. It's the conflict between clinging to old perceptions of who we are and stepping into a higher perspective. Krishna urges Arjuna to see beyond his immediate fears and discover a purpose beyond his limiting beliefs. Even though it's a deeply spiritual text, the Bhagavad Gita offers universal lessons that can resonate with anyone. You don't need to accept all the religious elements to benefit from its core message, that many of the obstacles we face in life come from inside us. Our doubts, our self-definitions, our reluctance to embrace change. Here's a paraphrased line that sums it up. Your struggle is not just external, it's within you. In other words, it's the battlefield of the mind that truly needs our focus. When Arjuna finally grasps this, he realizes that killing his current self, his fearful, hesitant identity, opens the door to real growth. Just like Arjuna, we're each called to face our own inner war. We can hold on to who we've always been or choose to kill those doubts and step into a new mindset. Next, let's see exactly how the Gita's wisdom maps onto our modern desire to break free from who we are into who we want to be. Key number 1, recognize the illusions tying you down. One of the first insights the Bhagavad Gita offers is the idea of Maya, commonly translated as illusion. It's about how we can be deceived by our own perceptions, failing to see our true potential. You may have told yourself, I'll never be good enough because I failed in the past, or I'm just not that kind of person. But are these beliefs genuinely accurate, or are they just mental habits you've carried around for years? Take a moment to list out the labels you've been using to define yourself. Maybe it's I'm the shy one, or I'll always be broke. Then ask yourself, is this really true, or is it just a story I've clung to? Often we find that these so-called truths lack any real foundation. They're illusions, no different from a shadow we mistake for a wall. By challenging these labels, you start to see that your current self might be built on shaky ground. When you uncover these illusions, you realize that if the old self is based on misconceptions, then it can be dismantled. That's the first step in killing the version of you that's held you back. It's like flipping on a light switch in a dark room. Suddenly, the shapes you were afraid of turn out to be nothing more than furniture. The more illusions you expose, the more space you create for real growth. In the Gita's view, once you recognize how much of your identity is just a shadow of past experiences, you can move beyond it and see possibilities you'd never noticed before. And that's where the real transformation begins. Key number 2, shift to purpose. One of the core teachings in the Bhagavad Gita is Dharma, acting in line with a higher purpose. The idea is that when you anchor your actions to something bigger than your own insecurities, you loosen the grip of self-doubt. Picture it like this. If you're focused only on whether you're good enough, every small hiccup can send you spiraling. But if you're focused on a meaningful mission, say supporting your family, championing a cause, or creating something that brings value to others, you naturally shift from, am I capable, to why does this matter? That difference is huge. Instead of fixating on your limitations, you're driven by the reason behind your efforts. Maybe your purpose is to improve your family's future, contribute to your community, or develop a skill that brings genuine beauty into the world. By clarifying that purpose, you give self-doubt less room to operate, because your mind is occupied with what truly matters. Write down one core mission that excites you. This could be volunteering, starting a small business, or even learning a new craft. Each time self-doubt creeps in, like thinking I'll never be good enough, pause and revisit your mission. Ask yourself, does my fear really outweigh the importance of what I'm trying to achieve? In doing this, you override fear with a sense of responsibility or passion. It doesn't leave much space for the old identity that says, I can't. Over time, you'll notice you're more focused on fulfilling your mission than on worrying about whether you're qualified enough to do it. That's precisely the shift the Gita suggests, letting your higher purpose guide you out of the mindset that keeps you stuck. Key number 3, detach from outcomes. One of the Bhagavad Gita's standout teachings is nishkama karma, which means taking action without being enslaved by success or failure. Think about how often we hesitate to make a change because we're terrified of flopping, or we're addicted to external validation. We cling to our current self simply because it's known, a safe little bubble where the stakes feel lower. Detaching from outcomes doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you pour your energy into the process rather than obsessing over the final result. If you're starting a small business, for instance, you focus on building relationships and refining your product each day, rather than panicking over whether you'll make it big by next quarter. Or if you're exploring a new hobby, you keep your mind on learning and improving, not on the number of followers who might or might not notice your progress. Pick one thing you've been delaying because you fear the outcome. Commit to doing it fully for, say, 30 days and track only what you actually do, like hours practiced or tasks completed, not whether it takes off. This mindset shift is incredibly freeing, without the constant burden of what if I fail. You start to feel like a different person, a version of you that's more interested in growth than in pleasing everyone or chasing trophies. And it's in that mindset, the Gita reminds us, that we find the courage to let the old anxious self fade away and embrace something new. Let's be honest, even if you recognize your illusions, find a motivating purpose, and stop obsessing over results, that nagging voice inside can still creep back. You might catch yourself saying, "This is who I am, why fight it?" Maybe it happens when you stumble on a new challenge, or when old fears resurface out of the blue. So what actually seals the deal? How do you ensure that the old, limiting version of yourself truly fades away rather than popping up again at the first sign of trouble? That's where the Gita offers one final principle, something that ties all these steps together into a lasting transformation. Key number 4, recenter on the deeper self. The Bhagavad Gita often refers to our deeper self, known as the Atman, as something beyond our passing roles, triumphs, or failures. In essence, this true self exists beneath all the labels you've accumulated, the same ones that form your current identity. When we talk about killing that old version of you, we're really talking about shedding these surface layers, not destroying who you fundamentally are. In simpler terms, no matter what you've done or how many times you've stumbled, there's a core part of you that remains untouched, capable of growth and change. If you nurture that inner core, maybe through reflection, journaling, meditation, or prayer, you'll start to see you're not locked into the role you've been playing. You're free to shift and evolve at any moment. Spend 5 minutes a day in silence, letting whatever negative self-talk you have come up to the surface. Acknowledge it, but then consciously choose to let it go, almost like watching clouds drift across the sky. Over time, you'll notice this process weakens the grip your current self has on you. You'll realize, I don't have to keep repeating these old narratives. Once you glimpse that you're more than just your past labels, you effectively kill the version of yourself that felt stuck or doomed to repeat old habits. That's the real transformation the Gita points to. Recognizing that you're never obligated to stay the way you are today. And it's in that recognition that genuine freedom and a fresh start truly begin. Which of these 4 keys speaks to you the most right now? Is it spotting illusions, shifting to purpose, detaching from outcomes, or tapping into your deeper self? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. And if you're ready to keep growing, hit subscribe and check out this next video. We've got plenty more ground to cover together.